Gladys, folks. So y'all are always asking me, like, what are my recommendation for books? As of July 2024, these are my 5 top books. Of course, they are subject to change, but starting off strong, we have The Celestian Prophecy by James Redfield. This is my go-to book. This is my #1. I don't think it's ever going to get replaced. This is what I call a fun read book. It is storyline based, like you're reading just any story, but it's very educational. It really gives you a look at energy. Whether you are a fledgling or a seasoned practitioner, it really explains how the mundane world interacts with energy every day. So if you're a fledgling, this is definitely one of the first books I'm going to recommend because it helps you understand what you're going to be working with. And if you're a seasoned practitioner, I still recommend it because, I mean, honestly, it just gives you an interesting viewpoint. But in my opinion, this book is truly life-changing. I cannot recommend it enough. Now, book 2 is a little more Wiccan based. It is a great book, but just go into it understanding that it is very Wiccan based on a lot of things. It is The Witch's Journal by Celine Silverwind. The reason that I recommend this book, especially for fledglings, this is more of a fledgling recommendation. The reason I recommend it is because it is a easy, small little book, but it touches on a little bit of everything. It touches on your deities, your colors, your spellcrafts, your Wiccan altar. Again, keep in mind that a lot of it is Wiccan, but it touches on pretty much a little bit of everything. So when you're reading through it, it gives you just enough information to go, do I want to research this further or do I want to go over here? So I do recommend this book for fledglings. My next book, whether you are a fledgling or a seasoned practitioner, this book is fucking phenomenal. We have this big boy. I mean, it is a huge book. It is the Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Eilis. I am probably butchering her name, and I'm so sorry. But this book right here, this is like the very first one. I cannot recommend this book enough. Not only will it make you rethink how you view spirits and entities and demons, but it's just the forefront of it. Like the first quarter is really just making you think. I mean, it's great. And then it has a bunch of spirits and deities, and it tells you where they're from, how you can honor them. It tells you pretty much anything that you could possibly need. Of course, some of them don't have as much information if they're less known. But like this one, the Aswang. I probably pronounced that wrong too. But it talks about the origin. It gives you information about it, manifestation, and you can also see ghoul and vampires. I mean, it's an overall really great book. Not only do I think it's a great book, I love how the author does so much research. In the very back of all of her books, she lists all of her references, and there is pages. It's probably 10 pages here with references of where she got the information from. So this is just a overall really great book to have in your collection. All right, moving on. Now, this one is definitely more recommended to the seasoned practitioners. This is definitely I love it. It is Of Blood and Bone by Kate Fruller. Probably pronouncing that wrong too. This is for the seasoned practitioners that don't really want to work with love and light all the time. They really have a little bit dark to them. So this is a really good book. It is a hard read to start, but once you get into it, it is a lot better. But they have some spells, reversal spells, but she talks about more of the darker side of the craft. So it's really a good book for that, which is surprising with the publishing company, but I do recommend it. Again, for the seasoned practitioner that wants to work a little more with the darker arts. All right, last but not least, this is recommended because I feel like Lilith is a badass energy. Her energy is just personification of badass women. The Book of Lilith by Barbara Black Cultivated, I don't know, PhD. Now, Lilith is one of the only entities that has shown up in almost all mythologies around the world, which I find really fascinating. But this little book, it is an older book and it is hard to read. It has scripture from, different books and Bibles and such in it. So the parts that have scripture are a little bit tough to read. But I do recommend it, especially if you want to work with Lilith. But even if you don't, and you just think Lilith is an awesome energy, I do recommend this one. Again, these are subject to change, but as of 2024 July, these are my top 5 books. If you have questions, feel free to ask.